Emily and James thought they'd found a haven, but the house was waiting for them. Now, as its walls whisper and shadows creep closer, they must unravel its twisted secrets or be devoured by the darkness within. Subscribe now and be the first to experience our chilling adventures. Emily stood in the doorway of their new home, taking in the grandeur of the old Victorian house.
Can you believe this is ours?
She asked with a mix of excitement and disbelief. James set down the last box with a sigh of relief.
I still can't get over the deal we got. This place is a steal.
They both walked through the narrow hallway, admiring the intricate woodwork and vintage chandeliers. As they explored, the creaking floorboards echoed in the silence. Later that night, after settling in, Emily heard it for the first time. Faint, indistinct murmurs coming from the walls. She glanced over at James, who seemed oblivious, staring at his laptop. "James, do you hear that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper.
Hear what?
He replied, not looking up.
It's like whispering.
She said, her eyes darting around the room. James laughed softly.
Old house M. Probably just the wind or the pipes. Don't let your imagination run wild.
But as the nights passed, the whispers grew louder. They seemed to follow Emily from room to room, faintly calling her name, until one night she couldn't ignore it any longer. She shook James awake. "James, it's not just the house. Something is trying to tell us something. We need to find out what it is," she insisted. James, still groggy, sat up and rubbed his eyes.
All right. Let's check it out.
They both wandered through the house, flashlights in hand, following the whispers that seemed to guide them. The sound grew stronger near the basement door, a place they had barely touched since moving in. "Should we go down there?" Emily asked, hesitating.
Only one way to find out.
James replied, his voice betraying a hint of fear. The basement was cold and damp with a strange, musty smell. As they searched, they found a hidden compartment in the wall. Inside was an old, tattered journal. Emily carefully opened it. "These are confessions," she said, flipping through the pages. "This house. People have disappeared here. The previous owner, he was hiding something. Dark secrets." As they read further, the whispers became clearer, almost as if the walls themselves were reliving the horrors of the past. James stepped back, his heart pounding.
We need to leave.
He said, his voice shaking.
This house, it's cursed.
But Emily, with a determined look, shook her head.
We need to put an end to this. The whispers. They're crying out for justice.
Together they followed the clues in the journal, unearthing long-buried truths about the house and its sinister past. The spirits trapped within the walls had been silenced for decades, but Emily and James had awakened them. By morning, they had uncovered the full extent of the horror, bringing peace to the restless souls. As the first light crept through the windows, the house grew quiet again. Emily and James, tired but relieved, stood side by side. They had faced the darkness and come out stronger. "This house will never harm anyone again," Emily said softly. James nodded with pride.
We did it.
Dare to face the next nightmare? Hit subscribe and prepare for more chilling tales that will test your courage.